Sophia, can you hear me now? Okay, great. Okay, good evening. My name is Francis Chin. I'm the coordinator for the 72-hour film shootout. And today's presentation is about an introduction to the 72-hour film shootout, how everything the process of what goes on, and some tips. If you're a first-time filmmaker, we can have a few moments to talk about things you could do, to get started. So this year is our 20th anniversary. Our purpose of the 72-hour film shootout is to introduce Asian Pacific Americans to filmmaking. To that end, we have a requirement to have one person of your team to be a Asian Pacific American or of descent to participate in the team. So to state the obvious, you're going to do the entire production, to write, shoot, and edit your entire film in 72 hours. So the things you could do ahead of time are gathering your team members, gathering materials and locations, and you're allowed to use pre-recorded music that you have the rights for. Everything else has to be done in the 72-hour time period. So again, it could be any type of team. We've had one-person teams. Last year, we had a team that actually had about 45 people. So that was like a particularly big team. One team member must be Asian Pacific American. Team members can have multiple roles. I was a former participant in the shootout. So there are. So I was writing. My particular skill is as an editor. So I concentrate on editing. Other team members both acted and were also members of of the crew as well. If you have any children in your team, you need to have them sign a permission slip from the parents. If you happen to have any SAG-AFTRA or other union members of your team, they need to have permission from their union for the production. The film lab does not have a blanket permission from SAG-AFTRA to cover all the productions. So each team needs to obtain their own permission from the union to proceed with having a union member on their team. You and your team members could be anywhere, and all the submissions are done online. So there's no need to physically be in New York where we're headquartered. I myself, in previous teams, I had team members around the world. I was based in New York. I have another team member that was based in Bangkok, Thailand. I had another team member that was in Tokyo, all at the same time. So through the wonders of the internet, all those pieces could be shot and sent back to whoever was editing, which was myself in that case, and I was able to edit it and submit it. Okay. So why should we, the obvious things are there are prizes, we have sponsors, the prizes vary each year depending on the sponsors we receive each year, but oftentimes they involve like film related prizes such as script writing classes for script writing classes, or products involved with filmmaking, or like work, programs that were involved with like either like setting up the script or planning your script. In addition, our judges also often mentor the winners, and so you'll be able to have a one-on-one mentorship with prominent members of the industry. Also, the top 50 or so films will be broadcast on a YouTube channel, and we also have a cable TV channel called Film Lab Presents that also will show the movies over the course of the year. The top 10 plus the winners of the individual prizes will be shown at the New York International Film Festival in New York during their festival on August 1st to the 11th of this year. So registration. Right now, we are in the early bird registration. If you register by April 1st, it's $25. A regular registration, if you register by May 1st, it's $50. If you register by June 1st, it would be $75. And late registration will be $100. The launch party will be held on June 6th, Thursday, June 6th, at a location in New York. We will also announce it online through our website and social media. What the theme is. There's a secret theme that has to be incorporated in your movie, which changes every year. We will announce that theme at the beginning of the competition, which is 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, New York time, on Thursday, June 6th. Once the time starts, you're on your own. If you have any questions before that time, you can contact me or the Film Lab for any questions you might have or any tips you might want to have. But once the competition starts at 8 p.m., you are on your own until the competition ends on Sunday, June 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, New York time. So between June 9th and the premiere is the time we'll be watching all your films. We'll be judging them. And then the premiere will be during the International Film Festival. Okay. So our program, our social media is on here. Our email for the shootout is shootout@filmlab.org, film-lab.org. We have a bit.ly shortcut to our page on our Film Lab website. Also, we have our social media, Asian American Film Lab. Also, find us on YouTube and on cable TV. Film Lab presents on the Currents channel. Okay, so this is a very basic overview. Does anybody have any questions so far? Feel free to put in the chat, or you can just go ahead and open your microphone and ask your questions of anything. We can have a dialogue. After that, I'll talk about a little bit about my personal experience in the competition and what I did to handle my own teams. So, any questions so far about the basics about the shootout? What do you need to do? Okay, great. So I'm going to stop the share for a second. I'm going to show us, give a small example of some of the stuff that was shot last year. Are you able to hear the sound of this? Okay, so those were short examples of some of the films that were shot in 72 hours last year. There were small 10-second, 15-second clips of some of the top 10 movies from last year. So I'm going to talk about several different things. Talk about what to do, the process before the competition starts, some of the stuff that happens during the competition, and then and then submitting your film. What's involved with that? Okay, first let's talk about forming your team. While it is possible to have a one-person team, it's not the best way to work. If you need dialogue, or you need to talk, you need to have more than one person in the shot. Obviously, one person is not going to be enough for that. Ideally, probably 3 or 4 would probably be the actual minimum number of people that you need for a team, especially if you want to get dialogue. So there's a lot of different entry levels. You could start with a cell phone. That's okay. People have shot entire movies on iPhones. Something more in the intermediate side, sort of like maybe a consumer video camera. If you happen to have a digital SLR, either one with a lens like this or a mirrorless camera, those are actually, a lot of people are now using those to shoot videos as well. The only things about SLRs is that they usually have you only can shoot for maybe about 5 or 10 minutes tops, which is not going to be such an issue since your movie is only going to be 5 minutes. But a lot of these are not designed to shoot continuously like a designed video camcorder. Like a video camcorder, you can shoot for an hour at one time. Again, for a 5-minute movie, shooting for an hour continually is not necessary. Something like this will be high quality as well as, but you have to make sure that you don't go over 5 or 10 minutes. Not just because they have self limits to how long you can shoot, but oftentimes they put, the camera elements put off a lot of heat, and sometimes if you are doing this, you're going to be during the summer, and if you're in warm temperatures, it might overheat and might stop while you're middle of shooting, and you'll have to wait until it cools down. The second thing to not forget is also the audio. It's also important the audio is actually probably more important than the video, because while people are tolerant of varying quality of video, if they can't understand the audio, they won't stand for it. It becomes very distracting and pulls you out of the moment. So again, oftentimes the thing that you have in your pocket is the best. Sometimes it's the best. You can use your phone. They often have a voice recorder. The voice recorder option actually has better audio quality than the video, especially if you're shooting with both a camera and you want to record audio at the same time. You can have this in your pocket and record the audio while you're shooting, and that way you don't have to have a microphone. There are also attachments you can get to put a lav reel microphone onto here. There are also wireless, Bluetooth or standalone wireless microphones that also work really well. There are also microphones you can, if you happen to be a podcaster, you can take a microphone here. I guess you can't see it from here. You can see the microphone from here. You can use that for voiceovers as well. But first you should use the stuff that you have, and then perhaps maybe you might be an opportunity to get to do a more quality recording. There are also digital recorders. I personally like the Zoom series. They're not related to the Zoom webinars. There's another company called Zoom that makes a series of digital recorders. I use the H4n. I don't have it right with me at the moment, but they also record in stereo. Now, once you shot it, you have to get it off your computer, off your recorder. So usually they are either in a SD card format like this, and you'll need to remove it and put it on your computer. Most other computers have SD card slots already, so you can use to download it off the card and put it on your computer. If not, there are also USB attachments that will let you take an SD card and then actually put it on your computer. If you're using a phone, if you're using an Android phone, they also have micro SD cards. Micro SD cards tend to be smaller than the regular SD cards. These are regular SD cards. I'm sorry, I just saw your chat. Okay, sorry. So the SD cards, this is a standard size SD card. The card size that fits in your Android phone is this size. Often this size will also be in small cameras, like action cams. This would be this micro SD would be the size. If you don't, you'll need an adapter like this to put that into, and then you'll be able to put it onto your computer. If your computer does not have an SD card reader, then you can buy a USB SD card reader. They're very inexpensive.
Tomorrow, you'll see showers and can expect a high of 54 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 47 degrees.
To be inexpensive. That's the other. Once you have gotten the footage off your computer, off your camera and put it on your computer, you'll need a video editing program. You can use the ones that are built into Windows. There's iMovie on the Mac. There's Final Cut on the Mac. There's the Windows Movie Editor on Windows you can use. They do very basic editing. If you happen to be a student, there is a academic license for Adobe Premiere, which is like $25 a month. So that's what, and you get Premiere and or the other Adobe products, in one shot. There's a free video editor called DaVinci Resolve. Originally, it was meant for fixing the colors or color correction of film. We also can use it for editing, and it's become very popular because it's free and it works. So that's also a recommended program if you want to go the free route. So the format we need, the final format will be in the HD format. Most video editing programs will edit in the HD format. You should make sure you're shooting in the HD format. Some of them will shoot in a square or in a SD format, and for the in the dimensions for the older TVs, pre-digital TV dimensions. The movies have to be shot in HD format. So it's pretty standard, but you should be aware that's the size that's required. Once you've edited it, you need to save it in what's called an MP4 format. MP4 is a standard video movie format. A lot of people use, a lot of cameras, that's one of the formats that it records in. You should be using that to submit your video. Now there's multiple ways you can submit the film. The film is going to be the film file will be too big to email. So you will need to use a file transfer program, a transfer service. We have a couple that we recommend on our website. If you are a member of Vimeo, you can also use Vimeo. you need to submit a shared link to the video as a private link that's just for us to open. You're not allowed to have a public link of your video while we are judging it. So at the end on Saturday, you will submit the link to your video in an email to shootout@film-lab.org. And you will have that. And you will have two forms. One form will be your team form, the information about your team. And the second one will be the permission slips. Each person, member of your team, has to sign a permission slip. If it's a child, then the child needs a permission slip from a parent as well to submit. All those forms need to be submitted along with the link to the video. And then that video link has to be sent by 8 p.m. on Sunday, the 9th of June. So once it's submitted, that's the time for you to relax. You're not allowed to publicly show your video. You can't have a public link. You can't post it on your YouTube or other social media while it's being judged. During that time, we will be our judges will be reviewing all the movies, and then at the premiere, which will be at the film festival in August, we will announce the top 10 winners and the individual prizes. Once that's done, you're then free to publish your video or spread your video, to share your video on social media or on YouTube or elsewhere. At the same time, we will be, over the course of the next few months after the premiere, we will be showing all of the videos on our YouTube channel, on the Film Labs YouTube channel. We also have a cable TV program called Connections. It's in our Comcast and Optimum cable services on the Current channel. We will post where it is and when the movies will be posted as well. So we will have a credit for any awards that you win, and also you will have a video credit for a broadcast credit for any of your film that we broadcast on our channel. So is there any questions about any of that process, or any tips about any of the mechanics of actually putting the film together? I will talk about a little bit more about what happens during the 72 hours, what we did, some of the things that we did to make it work out, and I will open the floor for any other questions. Okay, so as a team, we meet beforehand to figure out what resources we have, like what locations can we shoot at, what equipment do we have available. You can have an idea what kind of things you could possibly do with the materials and resources you've gathered. As long as you don't start writing, it's fair game to have an idea of what resources are available to you and what you could do with them. Also, you want to think about getting some, if you don't have music talent, you can find royalty-free websites that have sounds available, and you may want to pick a selection of music ahead of time that you may want to do. I happen to play I happen to play piano, and a couple of my other team members also play instruments, and so we actually have used our own music in our programs. We've also used pre-recorded film, pre-recorded audio as well. So the first once the theme is announced, either if you attend the live premiere, the live launch party, or if you're monitoring our social media, you'll get the theme. Probably at that point, you probably want to have a round table with your team members and hash about some possible ideas and what you can do with those ideas with the resources you have. You know, maybe you have access to an office. You know, maybe it could be an office romance, or you have access to a cafe or something that looks like a cafeteria, and you can think about different scenes that you could have. We've had a car chase. We had 2 cars. We would have, you know, things we could do with that. You know, those are definitely possibilities. Some of my teams were overseas, and sometimes we could fit in locations and different, you know, scenes in different locations, or we can have a flashback or that covers that different location. And you know, we are sometimes able to shoot here and then shoot at the other locale at the same time. So the first hour or two, maybe the first 3 to 4 hours is actually where you're going to be hashing out the outline of your outline, sort of like plot out what your general themes are going to be, and then start like writing some scenes. You know, depending on how good you are with like burning the midnight oil, you may want to work on until like 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, and then start again in the morning with a shot list, a list of shots you need, which locations you need to go. Once you get the list of shots, you can want to then reorder them so that you shoot in a time that will be most efficient, so that you're not traveling around and spending too much time traveling around to get to different sites and then having to return on a different day. You kind of want to try to do all your shots at one location at one time, because it's possible the weather may change. You may not have the different type of lighting that you had previously, or maybe you may want to have a different type of lighting at a different time of day. You may want to use that for your advantage. The best times to shoot are usually in the morning, and then in the evening, what's called the golden hour, like sort of like maybe 1 to 2 hours after sunrise, and 1 to 2 hours after sunset, 1 to 2 hours before sunset are probably the best sunlight outdoor shooting times, especially because it's going to be the summer. Shooting in the middle of the day, it would tend to be very bright. It would tend to be one, exhausting, and two, you would have much less control over the lighting when you are shooting in the middle of the day. So during that middle of the day, you want to think about shooting indoor shots, and something inside an office, or inside inside of a restaurant, or something like that. You need to be able to plan your shots so that you can have the best lighting. You want to take advantage of the lighting that exists. It's possible to bring your own lighting. Nowadays, since the time of COVID, there are ring lights and LED lights that are very easy that are battery powered, or even be powered by a battery pack, and are very easy to transport. But if you can use the lighting that exists, it's far easier and far better to use the lighting that exists. Once you, so that leads you into Friday and possibly Saturday. So if you can do all your shooting in one day, that's usually ideal, again, because the lighting would be consistent. You don't know if the weather, it has happened that one day is sunny and the second day is really cloudy or dreadful and raining, and you don't want to have to go back and try to recreate something that would be impossible to recreate because the lighting doesn't exist anymore. So you want to leave time available to then edit and to review the video and see if there's anything that you are missing. Ideally, you should be able to get all your shots together. If not, you do have a second day that you could do any makeup shots or anything that didn't work out. Things that happen. I had a lot of movies that involve food. Sometimes the food that we got we need to get, you know, more food uh, for for more beautiful shots. Sometimes that happens. You'll have another day to do that. But I also but ideally you should be able to try to get all your shots done, you know, Friday or Saturday. Then Saturday night you should be able to like start editing. You want to, if you have shot audio separately from your video, oftentimes you shoot your video with the audio on the microphone and also using a audio recorder as a backup. You can then use the audio from the audio recorder. Most video programs have a way to match up the audio together, and then you can just like turn off the audio on the video that you recorded, and then turn on the audio that is on that you recorded on the high quality audio that you use on the voice recorder or on your phone, and that way you have a higher quality voice or music or sound depending on what you were shooting. Some movies require what's called Foley, which is, you know, you need sound effects. Sometimes the sound that was recorded, you know, doesn't really look like, you know, like if the door closes and the door doesn't slam and you don't hear the door closing, sometimes you need to add in some extra sound to make it, you know, make what you're seeing on the video, you know, match the sound that's going on in your head. And so that's where you could record close-up sounds of different things. Like I had a scene where I was eating a sandwich, and it was a really crispy sandwich, and I put the microphone right up there while I was eating, and I was getting the sound of my eating, and so it really emphasized the crunchiness of the sandwich. And so that required, you know, miking it and like re-recording the sound to match what was going on in the video. So once the video editing is done, there's usually like a few, I tend to have at least 6 to 8 rounds of editing and review by the team. So I would edit it. I would save a low resolution version of the film so that we render quickly, and then we take like you know, under 5 minutes to render, and then I share it with my teammates. My teammates tend not to be in the same location where I'm editing, so that way they can watch it on their own. They can give their comments, and then I can go back and edit. And then it's an iterative process until we come to a final product. Now, at the end, it's very important on the video. There are required things at the beginning of the movie and required things at the end of the movie. So the required things at the beginning of the movie is a slide with the name, the name of the team, the title of the film, the date, and the running time of your movie, and that's followed by 10 seconds of black video, and then your movie will start. The 10 seconds does not count against your 5 minutes, the 5 minutes of movie that you 5-minute movie run. At the end, you'll have your credits. One of the credits have to say that there's a specific text about, you know, this movie is supported in part by the 72-hour film Shootout, sponsored by the Film Lab. The text that's required is on the form that you have to submit. So that makes sure that appears at the end of the movie. You will be disqualified if you don't have that at the end, or you don't have the name and the 10 seconds at the beginning of the video. So those two things are kind of small, but they're kind of important, because we need those things so we can. Those things are important on the back end for us. Keep track of your film, and also to give us the credit when we broadcast the movie. So once again, I said before, you need to like use a large file uploading service. We provide a number of them on our website, or if you're a member of Vimeo, you can use that service to upload and provide a private link that we can download the video from. We need to be able to download the file in high quality, suitable in high HD quality that's suitable for broadcasting. So be aware of that. A low quality file will not be able to be broadcast. Okay, then there's the waiting game. Once again, I said before, you have to wait until the winners are announced at the Asian American Film Festival. So do not publicly show your film or publish a film on social media or on YouTube during the judging period. So that's a quiet period. And then when we know the exact time slot we are in for the Asian American Film Festival, we will let you know. Filmmakers will have like 1 or 2 free admissions. The other additional ones will be ticketed because the showing is in the movie theater in the film festival and it's not on our property. So just be aware that the tickets tend to be relatively inexpensive. There also tends to be coupon codes, but just be aware that other than the 1 or 2 free tickets, we won't the additional audience members will need to purchase their own tickets if they want to view the premiere in person. So that's a basic rundown of the whole 72-hour process. Is there any other questions that I can help with?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, sorry I'm late, but I've got a question.
Mhm.
Is there a way for those who can't make it to New York or whatever for the screening, it could be streamed and like you can actually present the films like as an online virtual?
Yeah. It's after the premiere, we will post them on the YouTube, or the videos will be posted. We'll have a playlist of just of the winners, and then we'll have the top 50 or will be posted on our YouTube.
It's not like a live part of the live event, just
Yeah, it's like if we're in a movie theater, we can't do a live stream. But if last year we were not in a movie theater, we were at a we were at a restaurant, and we did have a live stream there. So
and then I might have missed it, but music wise, do
yeah,
we have the rights for it, or
as long as you have the rights for it, and you can like write that, you'll write down on like who the authors and stuff, and who has the rights to the music. They'll be on your team. There's a team. There's a thing where you submit who are the members of your casts and crew, and the music counts as the crew. So like if you have someone who's talented but it's not has pre-recorded music, you put their name down. There, if you're using a royalty-free service, you put that information that they give you to put down on there as well. But you are allowed to have pre-recorded music as long as you have the rights for it.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, so I appreciate you all joining me today for the information session. Our email is the group email is shootout@film-lab.org. I get that. And if you want to write me directly, my name is Francis Chin. My email is Francis FRANCIS at film-lab. I'll put that on the slide.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so that's my information on the screen. That's me. So I'm looking forward to see what you make. So I've actually competed in 12 past years. Some of them my teams that I led, or some teams some teams that I joined. Well, every single one was a fascinating experience. You know, it was one year was even like sort of this in lieu of a let's say a bachelor party. He decided to form a team to do this, and his fiance at the time was in the film, was in the movie as well, and that was a lot of fun. The other times I was visiting my friends in Asia, and we shot in Bangkok, in Hong Kong, and in Malaysia. And so that was a lot of that was just fun, just because it was an excuse to like go around and eat food and shoot films at the same time. And other times, you know, I'm based in New York, and a lot of my friends are also based in New York, and then we took over someone's office, and we just converted it into this. You know, we used different parts of the office. He was the office manager, so I guess he was able to do this, but we took different parts of the office, and we used it as a straight cubicle type of office, and then we turned the reception into a living room. We used the canteen area as a kitchen. So there's a lot of possibilities you can use with the resources you have, and it's all about the ingenuity that you have with the things you have. It's really not, you know, unless you really feel like it's not necessary to go out and get a red camera, or have a whole, you know, Hollywood budget for this. You know, you can use the things you have, maybe, you know, and try to use what you have, and use them creatively to solve the puzzle that the competition is at. Okay, so once again, thank you very much for joining me today, this evening. And I hope yes.
You know, I actually took part in 2012.
Oh, you did?
And then the one before that, I forget what year that was.
Okay. What was your film about?
It was called Jacob. It was
Okay.
like in the top 10. So, but it was back then.
Oh, okay. So welcome back.
Thanks.
You know, it's like and you know, some of the prizes I had some really, you know, I did win screenwriting once, and I won best use of theme once. And so once they were a lot of fun, and also I think the mentorships I got out of them were actually very fascinating, because, like, you know, my day job, I'm sort of a computer IT guy, so it's really fascinating to have this chance to do this, and then have a chance to kind of be involved, and things, you know, things have gotten a lot better in the last 10 years, and Asian Pacific Americans in filmmaking. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
So
Have way more exposure.
right. And so, you know, we hope we've done a small part of it. So
Yeah, this is our time.
okay, thank you for joining me, and okay, have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.